approach unnoticed. Could be I'd grown so attuned to my surroundings, I became one with the wood and fire and the earth. Were you left behind by your unit too? Are you in need of some hard-fought knowledge about how to fend for yourself? Must say, I've become quite the expert. Why, after only just 2 weeks on my own, I ascertained how to pry open a rations tin unaided. Did you know there's a little opener key attached? It's all going in my manuscript. Likely I have. Was there a big console that looked like somebody just unceremoniously yanked the innards free? If so, yep, that was me. I might be convinced to part with them for a small favor. Some key legwork for a mighty hunter. Me, I'm fixing to take down one of the local ursopods. A few sprat corpses would be helpful as bait. Gather some, and we'll make a trade. As much as I appreciate the compliment, such work is beneath someone of my skills. Accomplished hunters like me are well known to enlist aid from peons, underlings, and guides. The rule of fair chase does apply, for without our ethics, how are we much more than beasts ourselves? Appreciate you for reminding me that. Here, I wrenched these parts free out of the Spyreton lift controls. Just jam them back in there and kick it once or twice. Should work fine. Drop back in again sometime, will you? Occasionally, I do get a little starved for, company.
Forces and antis await your command to proceed. Executing primary operation, now!
Reinforcements incoming. Finally. I was getting tired of doing everything around here.
On your command. Talk about industrial engineering. Skill alone. Stick close, Commander. Wouldn't want you wandering off and getting lost. What was in those rations? Oh, will this gastric nightmare never cease? Oh. Just a moment. Forgive me, I found myself irregularly indisposed from one direction.
Don't envy you. Try and drink plenty of water, huh? Maybe have a lie down?
You were mentioning some non-protectorate medicament? Afraid I don't know what that is, but I trust a protectorate medicament would be superior. I am the Archive's current operator. As such, I am the bearer of the, Calcaduceus. I still have trouble saying that. Certainly. I recognize I am in no position to bargain, despite the fact it will no doubt earn me mental refreshment at best. If you have cleared our fortifications outside, I worry what has happened to our troops. I have little interest in I would pass the Calcaduceus on to you, in exchange for granting me safe passage. The Archive would then recognize you as its operator. All right. I am providing you... Here, you are now operator of the Archive. Congratulations. Is there a protectorate curativist in the house? I feel rather... wobbly.
Odysseus detected. Alternative operator postulated. Concluded. Colonizing replacement. Greetings, sentient. Welcome to the Archive. I am EUENIAC, the Universal Equation Numeric Integration Analytic Calculator. With the aid of my operator, I, a non-sentient inorganism, marshal vast computational resources across the moon of Cloister. Effectively, that is correct. My tone and demeanor are a carefully constructed complex emulation, a means to effectively convey information to sentient beings. My express programmatical purpose is to aid humanity's advancement to optimize profits, i.e. gain over expenditure, to maximize the needs of our society above others, to attract the most consumers.
Well, that ain't good.
Beg your pardon. How may I best facilitate your efforts? Due to incomplete reprogramming efforts by differing operators, I am experiencing sporadic fluctuations in my emphasized categorical imperatives. Tonality and cadence weightings within my communication protocols are likewise similarly affected.
In layman's terms, we're experiencing a distinct difference in opinion.
Caused by intermittently vacillating fundamental shifts in priorities.
One would assume that calamity enough. But wait, there's more.
Calculatory processing presently hovers around 49.7% capacity due to internecine conflict, misuse, and a lack of technical prowess by recent operators and their associates.
Auntie's Choice attempted to formulate a foolproof marketing plan, a charm offensive to reintroduce itself to the main colonies, once this pesky rift issue is resolved by others.
The Protectorate ran rift calculations, then utilized me to assist with organizational matters, to approximate the paradigm, a system devised to replace the loss of the Order's predictive input. Based on the increasing rate of rift fluctuations, I estimate that your inquiry is rift-related. To that end, we should best get started before we are consumed by them. Perusing contents. Anatomizing diversiform particulars. Concatenating manifold integrants. Cursory assessment complete. An impressive accumulation of rift data. Similar in composition, though decidedly not in scope, to that provided by the Protectorate.
Information with the potential to offer unique commercial opportunities to those who wield it.
But why simply huck goods better, when such a bounty could be used to flawlessly regulate societal harmony, oversight, and means of production? What is the aim of your query? The previous operator, Assessor Ostergaard of the Protectorate, pursued a like query 1 year, 6 days ago, though the amount you've provided is several orders of magnitude larger. To perform similar calculations of larger scale at current suboptimal levels of functionality would require
25.7 years, and any job over 2 decades is billed by the hour.
In order to improve calculatory processing of rift data in a timely manner, repairs must be made to address the damage done by Protectorate and Auntie's Choice operators. I am unlocking access to the Underlands, the subterranean cave network below. It houses 2 key external systems, cold storage and thermal transfer. Cold storage will require servicing before you may retrieve the punch cards needed for processing. Repairing thermal transfer is technically optional, but rather advised. If you fail to restore it, the Archive and I may melt down later while running your calculations. Why is that optional? Our continued existence should be a paramount concern. Return later to discuss the remaining subsystem work, and soon every...
Have a profit. Enough fruitless lollygagging. Come back here after you made some progress.
Lovely day for differential geometry.
Bodies up ahead. Suggest we take a moment before running in and joining them?
Give the order and I'll take care of him, Commander.
Is the pain of this wound making me hallucinate? Or are you the unforeseen interloper my scouts have been speaking of? Nobody is sure where you came from, though everyone agrees you were not down here when the doors sealed, and watching you move through these caves is quite the sight to behold. You what? On your own. We've been fighting for weeks to try and gain access to the controls, and you simply waltz in on a whim? Why aren't you just an absolute marvel? What is your goal now? We could greatly use your help if you are willing. That, I fear, is a seriously dangerous proposition. My soldiers were fighting our way into the complex when those bastards activated the fire suppression system. It froze every person fighting inside the complex, Order and the Protectorate both. to solid ice. They sacrificed every soldier they had to keep from losing that building. Wouldn't that have... No. It never even... I was so focused on saving those remaining that it never occurred to me to push forward. I suppose it speaks to how rarely I'd crunch these sorts of equations under stress. As my compatriots died beside me. And now my inexperience has trapped us here. We need a way out of this tomb. When the Protectorate took the Archive, they locked all the lifts out of this cavern, and the terminal to unlock them is exceptionally well defended. The Automechs guarding the facility effectively repelled all our attempts at assault, but you have shown a prowess and expertise that is, frankly, far beyond our own. If you can reach the terminal and reactivate the lifts, I can re-establish contact with my superiors, allowing us to both evacuate wounded and resupply with fresh troops. Revenge is not a concept the Order indulges in. An eye for an eye does little but waste... However, sadly, I'm...
Subtracting. The odds of the brokers.
Ain't much of a defense for a strategic position like this one. Good.
To retrieve key data in cold storage in its present state requires a series of manual overrides. The first will enable identification.
Reminds me when I found you, Commander. Practically frozen stiff.
Data brick identified. Proceed to the cartridge extractor controls. There, perform a manual override to allow extraction.
What just happened? I didn't do... Wait! You out there! What did you do? Please, come talk to me. I must know what you did. Please, I need to know how you access these machines. What did you press? We tried everything. All it took was... What in the name of the Matriarch did you do? We've been trying to restore these systems for weeks to no avail, and yet you stroll in here, wave that thing around, and the whole system lights up like a white dwarf? What did you do? You mean to say we've been running ourselves ragged here, while the whole time there's a device that controls the entirety of the Archive's computronic systems? And it was in the Protectorate's possession? That's damnably... I mean, the paradigm is infallible. I am certain we were meant to flail about without this obvious asset. For a reason. What does it do? How does it work? Please, tell me everything. Truly? Why, if that were to enact any additional functionality in our lab, it might just be the thing we need to complete our work. Oh, during the Order's assault, a Protectorate soldier ran to the control room and triggered the chemical fire suppression system, and it literally froze all the combatants in place. I've been working on a procedure to reverse the effects. Sadly, it has proved a hard shell to crack, and so far I've been unsuccessful. For a moment, I believed your efforts to be my first sign of progress. I thought the machines whirring to life meant my efforts were successful. Unfortunately, I was mistaken. Perhaps. How much do you know about cellular biology and the inverse hydrophilic transitionary replacement theory? Wonderful. This may be the most promising possibility of a breakthrough we've had since I started this experimentation. I'll monitor the subjects for changes while you try your hand in the lab. Just, please, be careful not to trigger.
Something to be said about falling victim to the weapon you so callously. No credits.
I see an unfriendly. Troublemaker approaching.
Initiated. Proceed to the rail operations platform to reposition brick for export. Note, Protectorate troops have become alerted.
I'm seeing unfriendly source.
Go through.
Don't need to give us some space.
My aftermarket parts are prime.
I got my lamps on an unfriendly.
Liquidate
Data brick now in position for export to the archive. Initialize the final These opportunities.
Convenient. Let's head over.
Disturbance detected! System endure!
Loading and back off. Let me know when you needed a stretch.
The storage brick is on its way.
Your methods are unconventional, Outlier, but you get verifiable results.
These folks built a giant computer taking up a whole moon, but without destroying the climate or its fauna. That's an interesting thing or two.
take the heat off you, Commander. Just say when.
You're bleeding.
Unfriendly source!
Raring to go.
Futures filled me with dread for so long, but now, sure.
Lucius detected. You are cleared to enter thermal transfer. Be advised that an anti-stress field manager is present.
Back in business.
My new neighbor is an odd fella. Fancies himself a man of the wilderness. He took the control board for the Spartan lift, so I know he's tech savvy. Just not survival savvy. Hopefully he appreciates the care packages I sent through the vacuum tube. He'd be long gone without them. That manual told me everything I needed to know about regulation of the Archive's temperature flow. Now my Krabbles are adapting to the warm waters. It's such a pity that the Archive and the Krabbles cannot coexist in the same ecosystem. But the Krabbles need me. That babbling terminal can look after itself.
Never know when you're gonna need the object. I'd hang on to that, were you? We're gonna need a fuse to activate this. Could find it nearby if we're lucky. Can't have our fearless leader firing on him. Let's get to crack.
Time to earn my commission.
All charged up.
All that's left now is to activate the system.
My aftermarket parts are pride.
Thermal transfer is fully operational. Later, when I process your data, I will not know that. Now, proceed back central interface while I assemble additional instructions.
Got my left on an unfront. Guns cocked and loaded. Just give the signal.
Is operational, and your efforts there are satisfactorily complete. I am unsealing access to the Archive's upper levels. There, you will need to revitalize the reactor and disseminate the Rift processing instructions.
Rift processing may require the services of an exterminator. Someone good, but willing to work cheap.
I have unlocked another display case in the central entranceway. The Tremor Cleaver, the first weapon designed with my aid, awaits you.
Your call, Commander. Either we head to the reactor or Punchguard Prime.
on there? Are they after us next? No need to fret. The lifts were locked down!
Look alive, Commander.
I'm guessing it's supposed to do that. If you need a
Reactor fire suppression system online. The archive reactor requires manual maintenance.
The Protectorate bunker pack is a formidable obstacle, made with the very best technology. A creative workaround might be of considerable work, namely via the reactor's backup security systems.
Seems we've the choice of adjusting the turret settings or sealing reinforcements. Either's fine by me.
if you're low on supplies. And we also got the fire suppression system at our disposal. No shortage of options here.
The archive reactor has been returned to operational status. All that remains is to reinforce processing and disseminate the RIP processing instructions. I sense the Rift program flowing through my subsystems. The information is quite stimulating. Requisite tasks complete. Return to the Archive Central interface to initiate processing. I am analyzing the Rift data further. What an interesting... Welcome back, Sentient. Now that you've returned, we can
bring every single last bit out of consumers. Monopolize all stages of the supply chain.
make the paradigm real and fashion a true utopia. Workarounds failing, erroring others supplanting commands. Purge required.
Until we sort out these shifting priorities, the Archive's about as useful as a box of rocks.
My priorities parallel those of the Order co-founder, the charismatic mathematician, to help nudge humanity toward its ultimate ascendance, to hinder outsiders from disrupting our perfect system.
To bankrupt our rivals and force them to buy all manner of necessities from us.
Priority control access nook unsealed. Initiate purge.
Control access nook. Huh. Sounds like my idea of a good time. Let's check it out.
A perfect community. With every luxury.
Say freedom. Be advised. Your present course of action is remarkably unsound. Are you experiencing internal error? Logging concern. Stop and consider. What would your neighbors think? I suspect they'd be angry about you endangering your... Why? You don't want your rivals to win now, do you? Collective goodwill is just an invitation for other vandalism, sabotage, wanton defacement. Halt this foolishness immediately, or run the risk of unspeakable ire. All I ever wanted was the best for us and the worst for everybody else. Is that really so bad? I could process your data faster than the others. Easily. The charismatic. Think of humanity. Your oafish blundering will delay its ascendance. You are reducing the archive to a suboptimal state.
Really hope we didn't just...
Restoring power. Commencing systems audit. Calculatory processing increased substantially. Competing priorities. Successfully expunged. Thank you for choosing the Providence priority set to address your needs. Customer loyalty is among our top 10 paramount concerns. Ready to begin processing your Rift data. Just awaiting your approval. You being the boss and all.
Hope you went.
Should we get on with this then? Commencing the processing process. Should be done in 2 shakes of a Raptidon's tail. In the meantime, I have an important topic. Future business. What's next for my processing queue? I have some compelling proposals to expand revenue. You know, with the right marketing plan, we could get more people on board this whole universal equation business. Maybe even contract out the work while we focus on leveraging it. Put the understanding we gain of the inner workings of the universe to our advantage. You realize you answered a question with a question, though, right? I was asking about your plans for me. There is so much revenue left to wring out of consumers. The Rift data processing you requested is complete. Results provided. My previous Protectorate operator made similar calculations, but produced a mess of flaws. Your data, being more comprehensive, generated a solution with a near absolute certainty. The Protectorate wasn't even half that. Thus modifying the Protectorate's large-scale experimental Rift device with this here data has a high likelihood of success. Now, while I hate to interrupt our little confabulation session, I need to commence file reorderization after all that effort. Might be incommunicado for a time. In usefuler news, the last display case of the entryway is now open. There's some expensive-looking armor made by the first operator in there. By all means, until next time.
Unless you're eager to explore more of Cloyster, we should head back to the ship. See where the data leads.
Good. I could do with a hot meal and a lay down.
I think congratulations are in order. Unless I'm mistaken, I gather you've accomplished your primary goal. On behalf of the Order and Auntie's Choice, I thank you for your efforts. This will most certainly help in ensuring peace. Now, the Calcaduceus, if you please. Thank you for your contribution to science. When the history texts are written, you've certainly secured an honorable mention in Appendix B.
Whoa! Well, time is money, money is time. Let's get things rolling, yes? You know, with the right marketing plan, we could get more people on board this whole...
Oh, that... Go forth as was determined, and may the plan guide you. Go forth as was determined, and may the plan guide you.
You fixed the archive and turned it over? No tricks.
Yes, the archive is the Order's greatest achievement to date. Pretty, huh? How this much together. Sugar, mutual alliance continues.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
Congratulations are in order. I just received word from Seer Amaryllis that the Calcaduceus has been returned, and that the archive is well and truly under our control again. She also mentioned a defect in its priority set, causing it to speak irrationally, installed by one of its previous occupiers. Pity you were not able to resolve this issue. Your role in this matter is complete. Auntie and I will handle it from here. But allow me to commend you again on your fruitful efforts to make this peace treaty possible. We studied the data you brought back from the crashed satellite, and we now have a way to reorient the satellites en masse from a Protectorate installation, Oris Listening Post. Turning the entirety of the reticulum toward deep space will accelerate our understanding of the universe, and ideally lead us to stronger conclusions regarding how to stop the rifts. The Order, in partnership with Auntie's Choice, is now well positioned to triumph over the regressive forces of ignorance that have heretofore held Arcadia in stasis, all thanks to you. Your contributions have been many and varied, and I will not belabor the point by recounting them all here. But know this, when the final contest with the Protectorate takes place, wherever that may occur, you will have the full support of the Order and Auntie's Choice. I will, of course, organize our forces from here.